I should point out that, I mean, a hidden resource of these old growth forests is the herbs. They are worth a considerable amount. And, there are still some Appalachian areas like the Pigsa or Pisgah or whatever it is, where they are trying to, preserve it partly due to it's a supply place for herbs that go into commerce then. And a lot of poor Appalachian people rely upon a certain amount of income from wild herb picking, which they maybe overdo. There's some species they pick out of to extinction almost. But so you guys have programs about that too, trying to educate for picking, but to preserve those resources, those wild forests are worth a lot. I remember a friend of mine describing how there was like 45 acres of clear-cut forest in Arkansas that he found that was just covered with ginseng and yellow lady slipper. Okay, so like we're talking about those things were worth way more than the trees they got off of that land. Yeah. So this kind of stuff. Yeah. So, and I do want to proudly say sometimes the only way you can save timber is by owning it. So I own 10 acres of old growth in upper Michigan, but that's mostly because it's on a mountain. You can't really cut on mountains very easily. And so, yeah.
Well, you're absolutely on point. I mean, United Plant Savers, that's really the kind of core of our mission and what we do as far as our sanctuary that's located in Rutland, Ohio. So we've really amped up our capacity to propagate forest botanicals. So we've got the property there is 360 acres and we've got quite a bit that's in forest and some really large populations of many of these high valued medicinal herbs, but we're also cultivating them in all different ways. Some just really naturally in the forest, others in areas under canopy, all different styles of propagation. And then we work with the Appalachian Beginning Forest Farmers Coalition, which is a USDA funded collaboration of a lot of different organizations and nonprofits. And we work with landowners, give them advice, evaluate their land, and support them in propagating these plants. So it's multifaceted. I was just on a property last week doing some rescue of plants where, just an incredibly beautiful forest that was being, cut for like 6 houses on like a 3-4 acre lot, but it was just like pristine. And I think that's like how do we bring that value into these decision-making processes? And I think, it's like land is just land, right? And there's no protocol for evaluating the biodiversity value or the when someone goes to get a permit to cut trees and the plant trade in the United States in general is very underground in a lot of regards. So it doesn't have the valued economic equation because it's really in some regards a secretive trade. And I know we've talked about this before. It's not just the medicinal herbs, but it's the other forest products that come out for the floral industry, for wreath making, for essential oils of conifers. I mean, it goes on. And when you add nuts, I mean, when you just start compounding all these forest products, it becomes way more valuable per acre than what you get from cutting the trees down. So it's, just bringing more consciousness to that, and something that I'm be on the lookout. One, we're advocating, we're trying to get Trillium out of large commercial harvesting. We've just done a big evaluation on all the different Trillium species. So we're really encouraging people to reformulate. And we're also encouraging that for Camelarium because it's so threatened at this point, and its habitat is diminishing significantly. And with the whole thing with white sage, we're really I would love to see, some of these online platforms where these plants are being sold to submit information so we know how much of these plants are really being sold online so that we can advocate for better supply chain so that we can maybe, if white sage is going to be sold, that it come from a cultivated source, right? I mean, the impact in the increase in just this one plant over the last 5 to 6 years being internationally in demand. When they did this video that, I encourage you to watch when it becomes more available, Saging the World, I was shocked to see how stripped the sage habitat in Mexico had been diminished by the recent demand and people just wanting these sage sticks. So it spans all different marketplaces, beauty products, not just herbal products. So anyways.
Yeah, that's one that should be banned for collecting in the wild, but grown on farms. I mean, because it grows in places that just about nothing wants to grow, and you can grow it easily to,
Yes.
I think, to Portland, Oregon. So, I mean, anywhere where there's not bad frost, you can grow it. It only grows in this little teeny area. So, anybody with a house, wants it as a house plant, it's certainly growable too. So, and I mean, you grow it in, I have lots of friends in Central California, Northern California. They just grow it in their garden. It doesn't grow, it doesn't expand, separate space, but there it is, it could provide lots. So, it's kind of like we need to restore the sense of ethic within human beings, I think, because people just keep on breaking the law and not appreciating things. Well, they don't even see it, a lot of 3 or 6 acres with the old growth forest on it like that with the original habitat intact. People don't realize how important that is. Like I got my little cabin and then 13 acres and in Wisconsin, and it's about 8 acres of woodland, and everybody says, "Oh, that was always forested." I could tell, no, this was not always forested, and like it was. And I found old photos. No, it was a chopped over pasture. You will never get those herbs. Most of those back, and even I've even seen I hate to say it, but clear cut forest in that area, even that grows back the herbs better. But these areas that have been even where there's most of the native trees coming back and not new invaders, the herbs do not, I mean, the wildflowers, the native plants just don't come back for, maybe hundreds of years. I don't know, if at all. So, yeah. So that's how valuable these old growth forests are. Thanks for joining us. Visit us at the Matthew Wood Institute of Herbalism.com.